Alright, so, oh, frick, of course, okay, let's move that over a bit, so I'm a little more center. So, new setup, which basically got the final touch placed on it last night. I've got my lamp going, that's why there's the yellow glow. I guess I could just go get the white glow, but whatever. So, as I slowly prep the final touches, let's go ahead and get the bombshell for this episode out of the way, shall we? The sub got to, sorry. Somebody used to saying that, the sub got the point. Because the reason why I'm like, wait, no, wait, is because that's not what happened this time. The dub actually got 2 points. And I know I'm going to get so much flack for that, but whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and be honest with you guys. I have to try and look there. In fact, I'm going to turn my monitor off for the duration of this, so that way that's what I look at. Alright. I mean, it's my second monitor, but whatever. Anyways. So, this is Yugi's first battle in Battle City, so I guess I'll just go ahead and explain right off the bat why I say this one's better in the dub. The sub is fucking... Sorry for the creaking of the chair, by the way. This is an old chair. This is just a temporary chair. It's basically just, I need it for now. Is basically the idea here. So... Which is not going to bode well for, like, streaming and that, but that's... Anyways, whatever. So, the dub got 2 more points. Why? Because the sub version of this episode is fucking boring, okay? This two-parter is fucking boring. This is another example of this did not need to be a two-parter. This was dragged out. And this is even more egregious of a case than with Rebecca, which I ranted about, right? With Rebecca, it was more a case of... They basically needed to stretch it out to another episode because they still needed the cleanup from Duelist Kingdom. Okay, fine. This did not need to be 2 fucking episodes. Maybe you could argue that Kaiba's explanation and everything. The problem is they have too many of these panning shots, right? Too many of these, like, large, elaborate frickin' shots that they pull of, look at all of the details in the background, and it's just like, oh my god, you don't need these to be this long. I didn't keep track of how long it was, but my problem here is there's too much padding, is what that boils down to. These establishment shots are just padding. And it's really, really freaking irritating to have padding, right? Because, again, it affects the rewatch. Because if you're just here for, like, Yugi defeating Exodia, you have to sit through a lot of crap in order to get to the part where you're actually getting a freaking yawn attack because you've been up for too long. Sorry. Anyways, until you get to the actual action, and there's too many times where it'll cut back from commercial, or it'll cut to we'll start the next episode, and we have to do like a stupid over elaborate panning shot. Now they'll do this later too, where they will then chime in with and show the life points, right? Like Yugi has 3,700 left, and his opponent has like 2,400 or whatever, right? That at least would make a degree of sense, but the problem is that I also pulled those numbers out of my ass. By the way, those are not actual real numbers. But anyways, the problem with this very mentality of the panning shots is we're not here for the panning shots. We're here for the duels. We're here for the monsters. We're here for the characters. We're here for the action, right? Okay? Even in Star Trek, we're not here for like we don't want a 45-second panning shot of the Enterprise, right? We're here for the characters. We're here for Kirk, we're here for Spock, we're here for McCoy. If it's TNG, we're here for Picard, and Riker and Data and Worf and all those characters. If it's DS9, we're here for Cisco, we're here for Kira, we're here for Odo, we're here for those characters. If it's Voyager, we're here for Janeway, 7 of 9, and the Doctor. Sorry, I had to take that. I was supposed to abort after TNG, but as soon as but then I just kept going, and then once I got to Voyager, it was just like I had to take the jab at Voyager. Anyways, uh, so the reason I like this one better in the dub could be potentially nostalgia. I'll go ahead and I'll own up to that. There is probably a bit of nostalgia bias at play here. But the problem is that I honestly don't even remember this episode being that great in the dub. And it's not the greatest thing ever in the dub. But there are three specific things that now that I have fully watched the sub, I just look at the sub and go, what the fuck were you thinking? Right? Like, there is no joke. In my sub notes here, there is 3 notes where I have the word dumb in all caps. In all capital letters, specifically for the trust angle, which is the whole you couldn't trust a counterfeit deck to the end. Uh, the whole explanation of implanted a piece of my memory so I could control the ghoul anytime I wanted, and Jinochi's reasoning, which makes sense in the sub and by extension the manga, but it's still kind of freaking dumb for reasons I'll explain when we get there, right? The first scene of the sub really did all kind of would have made this work, like would have made this go ahead and be the sub's point again, except the problem is that the sub then starts doubling down double tripling quadrupling down on the dumb, and it gets just stupid, right? Including one that the unfortunately the dub had to take into account because it's just dumb, and we're just gonna eh. Although what's funny about my dub notes, most of them are universal too, which is also the reason why I just went ahead and gave the dub the 2 points. Because again, it's either I'm going to watch it with watch it with my memories being there and with explanations that aren't as dumb as the fucking sub, or I'm going to frickin' or I'm going to watch boring with frankly, in my opinion, not as interesting dynamics, right? Especially considering technically I could have wrote dumb in all caps 4 times in my sub notes because of the whole attempt being a moron thing in part 1, which again we'll get to. But the first thing I want to talk about is the season 2 dub intro, which is here. I literally wrote season 2 intro is here. Finally. Because they've been using the season 1 intro up until this point. I want to remind you, this is episodes 7 and 8 of season 2, and the dub is just now switching to the season 2 intro. Now, on the one hand, it's like, oh, finally, this version of the song, right? On the other hand, well, that's actually a good thing, like, objectively speaking. It is objectively speaking because, well, they haven't been spoiling anything about Merrick, right? Or the fact that Ishizu's going to be a duelist, or the fact that Yami Bakura is going to come back, which the intro is already spoiled. Yeah, spoiler alert, Yami Bakura is going to come back. I mean, I've already spoiled this myself, so that's, neither here nor there. You know, uh, the character of Odeon getting spoiled, which we'll get to him later. Odeon slash Rashid, or Rashid if you prefer. Alright. So, I have to poke fun at it as much as I do prefer these episodes in the dub, and I do. I do still have to poke fun because they're still pulling the Destiny angle, which again they're gonna keep going with. And then Yugi makes a comment at Atem saying that you know, back when you saved the world originally, you were alone, but now you've got other friends to help you, and it's just like all I can think of is like the Guardian team that will meet in Dawn of the Duel, and all of them just looking at Yugi and like, are we a joke to you? you know? Hell, Dark Magician. Hell, I could even just say Dark Magician looks at Yugi. Am I a joke to you? so, I mean, I am joking around, but like, and then Tristan is in Serenity's room. Oh, jeez. Okay, so this is the start of Tristan lying about the whole teaching Joey the dual monsters. Okay, okay, Tristan, what the actual fuck? What the actual fuck, dude? This is a plot point I've always hated, and the reason is actually pretty damn simple. There's no consequences for this. There's absolutely no consequences for Tristan lying about to Serenity about teaching Joey dual monsters. Why? Why, sub? Why is there not a scene that establishes this? There's one where he confesses, but nothing comes of it to my knowledge, except maybe Serenity being dropped from the fucking plot after season 3 completely. Yeah, for the record, in my rewrite, she would not be dropped from the plot because I would actually have her be a support character for the entire time. But yeah, let's not get into that. So then they head to battle. Oh yeah, I guess I should rewind a bit. So let's talk about in the sub how Yugi basically accepts the Tem's reasons for basically doesn't need a Tem to explain. Like a Tem even brings this up like you're not going to press me for details because he was kind of expecting Yugi to press for details, which is absolutely completely 100% logical if you think about it. Because it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have to oops, sorry. I'm going to have to explain to Aibo something, right? I'm going to have to tell him something that that will quail his curiosity until we can wrap this up, right? So I figured, okay, it's so Atem probably figured, okay, I'm gonna have to explain something to Yugi. I'm gonna have to say something to Aibo to at least satiate his curiosity for now. And so, but then Yugi is just like, no, I don't need details. And Atem's like, wait, what? And Yugi explains, oh, you're not entering this tournament for rare cards, so okay, I'm cool. We're cool. That that's it, Ivo. That's all you need. That's all I need. I like that. I like that plot point a lot because it shows the Yugi's character, right? Again, like I said, sure the dub got the points, but that doesn't mean there aren't really damn good scenes in the sub. So then they head off to the starting location, and this is where the sub actually does something. Actually makes Mai's character better. Mai asks about Jinochi. Now I say Jinochi specifically because it's the sub where she asks about him, and it's like, yes, yes, all of the yes. You two fucking deserve each other. Certainly better than that. Let's not get into that. Anyways, uh, so the sub goes into bit better detail about the ante rule and the locator cards and everything. See, the ante rule, according to this explanation in the sub, is you wager one rare card, right? You have to wager one rare card. Now that makes a degree of sense. You have to bet one rare card. There's of course you can bet your rarest card, which is what the dub claims you have to, or you can just bet a rare card. Hence why Kaiba holds up Blue Eyes as opposed to Obelisk. Now it makes sense that he wouldn't hold up Obelisk because he doesn't want the god cards to be revealed, and who's going to believe that Obelisk is a real card? At best, you're going to get reactions of "What the hell's that?" And at worst, you're going to get the ghouls kind of realizing, "Oh, Kaiba has Obelisk. Beeline!" Especially when he announces that he's going to be in the tournament. So then the locator cards are mentioned, and it's mentioned that only 8 finalists are going to be in the final round. I understand that. I really do, because there's only so much room on that blimp, but I don't know. Maybe I would have preferred to have 2 blimps and then just have, there be 16 finalists to make it a bit more dynamic, but then again, I think in terms of major tournament arcs, but whatever. Okay. So Kaiba Corp's continuing to monitor the duels, because of course they are. So then the rare hunter is seen typing away on examining profiles on his laptop, which is funny because of course he's looking, he's got profiles on Yugi, on Mai, and on Weevil and Weevil, Rex, and Mako. Actually, we don't see a profile for Mako, admittedly, but we see one for. I know I saw one for Weevil, and I know I saw one. I'm pretty sure I saw one for Rex. The funny thing is that Bones and his gang are actually on there too, which is funny because one of the dudes who's the one that talked like a silly person, that one. His rarest card, according to the sub, is Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. Interesting. That would probably be, if we were to use my Forbidden Memories deck, that would probably be mine too. Well, except my current one. My current one would probably be Dark Magician as well, but let's not get into that. I'm not, which is funny because I've actually got the case of Forbidden Memories right here. This is not a good game, by the way. But that's for later. Which is funny because I would not actually give this one a rant view. I would absolutely be like, don't buy this game, but this wouldn't be a rant view. I don't have the case of the other one, so I won't bring it up. Handy right off the bat, so I won't bring it up. Oh, of course it's right on the top, so never mind. So unlike this one, by this point you will have seen that video will have gone live, so I'm not spoiling anything. Anyways, moving on. Now that with that diatribe out of the way. So then Joey challenges him, and in the sub, the ghoul calls Jinochi a loser dog. Alright, fuck the loser dog shit. I am sick of the loser dog shit. I really am. I know it's going to continue, and it's going to continually piss me off. This is actually where we start treating Joey like he's trash. Like he is a trash tier duelist. And I'm kind of sick of that. I kind of wish that Joey had actually been the one to face the Rare Hunter and defeat Exodia. I get the symbolism of it, but I almost feel like I actually would have preferred it if, Yugi, like let's say Joey faced Esperoba first. Like the first duels, like we just skip this for now and have Esperoba be the first opponent, and then we throw in some other random ghoul that we can do all of the frickin' spiel and shenanigans with. And it didn't have to specifically be this Rare Hunter, right? Then have a tag duel between Yugi and Joey, and then have it be that we can just get. Basically, my big problem with this is that Joey is going to reject taking Red Eyes back because he feels like Red Eyes would just be like, well, you're a disgrace, you need other people to help you. Again, this is basically the whole problem I have with Joey's Red Eyes being taken in the first place. And I feel like this is to the detriment. Now, granted, Konami did not come up with the whole Red Eyes archetype until years later, until basically DSOD, after DSOD came out. So, maybe it's a moot point, but again, I mean, come on. If you want the whole darkness is not evil thing, you could just bring in the freaking earlier stuff. I'm just saying. And on top of that, Joey's deck is all about growth and potential. So Red Eyes is a great symbol of that. Never mind the fact that I've seen Joey's deck in Season 4, and it is way better than his Season 2 and 3 decks. But I digress. So, yeah. We'll talk about it a bit more when we get there, but for now, yeah. So then Atem is a moron in the sub. Look, I get it. You don't want to compromise your principles, but this guy's a cheating asshole. Fuck him. It actually makes way more sense in the frickin' dub, because in the dub, Joey keeps trying to tell Yugi about Exodia, and both Yugi and the Rare Hunter are like, shut it, Wheeler, or Red Eyes is ripped, or I'm ripping Red Eyes up, and it's like, yeah. Now, granted, it's like, now what's funny is you would think that they would be able to call the bluff, but to be fair, Yugi being, because there would have been two consequences of Yugi losing, right? Him being kicked out of the tournament, and his Red Eyes and his Dark Magician being taken in addition to Joey's Red Eyes. Ergo, there are more pressing concerns for Joey to be concerned about than just, oh, my Red Eyes is going to be torn up, right? So even if he called the bluff of, yeah, your bosses are going to be really happy about you ripping up Red Eyes, yeah, it still wouldn't have done anything. Which is a plot point I applaud. Still better than the sub, where it's just, again, it's a whole pride thing, and I'm kind of sick of that angle. Fuck it. I prefer it to be the friendship angle. Call it a quirk, but I prefer the friendship angle to the pride angle. Go figure. Even though I literally have a note that just says, shut up, Joey, otherwise your Red Eyes is gone. So let's talk about the standard Red Eyes deck of defense and draw. The Exodia deck has only gotten more and more solitarific as we go through. Now, I thought about talking about the Exodia loop here or later, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about it here. So there's an equipped spell card that literally makes the Guardian deck even worse than it is. I just realized that, but anyways, that's stuff to bitch about in Season 4. So there's a combo that involves actually two cards that are introduced in the DM anime. Butterfly Dagger Elma and Gearfried the Iron Knight. We'll be getting to him much later. Actually, what's funny is I can actually look it up. It's actually not going to take me too long. So let's see. So we've got We've got Esperoba, then we got Esperoba, then we got Master Magicians. So, yeah, in like 3 videos, we'll be getting into Gearfried. Because again, all multi-parters are being talked about in one, so there's that. And then, but yeah, no, the idea here is that basically it allows a combo between a card called Royal Magical Library, which does not appear in anywhere in the DM anime, to my knowledge, and and Butterfly Dagger Elma. See, the problem, Gearfried is a card that just destroys any equip that gets placed on him. Oh, he doesn't negate equips or anything. They just get destroyed and sent to the graveyard automatically. So, which is funny because you can actually use. I just realized you could do that. Use a combo with that and with Dragunity Eclipse. Now that I'm thinking about it. Anyways, point being is any equip that gets equipped to him is just automatically destroyed. So you equip, it goes to the graveyard. Butterfly Dagger Elma comes back to your hand immediately. Now, where does Royal Magical Library come in? Well, it's a spellcaster monster with 0 attack and 2000 defense. Its effect allows it to gain spell counters, a max of 3, and each time a spell card is activated, it gets a counter. 3 counter every time it's activated, the spell counter goes on. So, activate 1, activate 2, activate 3, use the effect, draw a card. The draw effect is not once per turn, nor is Butterfly Dagger Elma returning to your hand. And remember, Gearfried doesn't negate the activation. See the problem? So yeah, Butterfly Dagger Elma is on the ban list for that very reason. So then Yugi activates a trap card, which is okay, but it's basically anti-flip effects. It's basically anti-flip effects, light of intervention, which is hilarious to me. Because that's really the only card, the only reason that card exists is to prevent flip effects. It is literally a useless card in here. So then the Magnet Warriors show up. I should probably jot down Alpha while I'm here. Give me 1 sec. Because I am SMRT smart and forgot to write down Alpha, the Magnet Warrior. I'll be paying attention to see when Gamma shows up, but yeah, all 3 of them show up. That might not be until Double Duel, but we'll see. Okay. So, yeah, so we get the Magnum Warrior showing up, and then Gazelle and Baphomet show up. Specifically, Baphomet gets summoned, and then Gazelle is called forth, and then Yugi fuses them into Chimera, the flying mythical beast, which will actually become a staple of his strategies going forward. I actually like that, especially considering if you actually get rid of Chimera through destruction, it actually replaces itself, so it's yet another floater. The second one third one technically, because I forgot about Sangan, the third that we have had in the entire game, or in the entire show so far. Neat. Now, obviously, that effect doesn't apply in this duel because Yugi sacrifices it in this duel, but you get my point. So then there's the whole counterfeit cards with the contact lens, special contact lenses. This is kind of a dumb plot point, as you could literally just say that that they're marked cards, or it's gonna be done with it. But whatever. Whatever. I guess we needed the special contact lenses for that. Whatever. So then Yugi figures out that he's planning to summon Exodia the Forbidden One! And all because it was just Joey's friendship that allowed him to figure that out, which I like. It was a nice touch. So then in part 2, so that's where we end with part 1. Anything else I need to mention with part 1 in the sub? Nope. Part 2. So Yugi uses Time Seal to prevent the Rare Hunter from drawing the final piece of Exodia. Time Seal is a bit of a weird one because of her fuffles with the rules. You basically can't skip a draw phase that's in progress. So this trick would not have worked in the actual thing unless instead of Polly, Time Seal had been, the initial card and then he activated it on his turn. That is the headcanon that I'm going with, by the way. Just to make this make more sense. But no headcanon can make the next plot point make sense. Yugi seals one of the Exodia pieces in the ghoul's hand with Light Force Sword, which is a trap in both versions. He draws Light Force Sword and activates it. Yeah, everybody's made fun of this one. Everybody's made fun of this cheat, but... Oh, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. But I mean, this is the episode that has the swan song for season 1 logic, so yeah. So then the Rare Hunter announces that I have 3 sets of Exodias, you're screwed, and then Yugi points out, well, that's the Achilles heel. You have so many Exodia parts in your deck that the chances of drawing it are reduced because you have a higher chance of drawing. You actually have more of a higher chance of drawing the duplicates than you do the actual piece you need. Because what he needs is one of the right arms, right? Because the one is sealed, right? But he's got 2 more in his deck. Except there are 15 Exodia pieces, and only 2 of those are the ones that he needs. Plus, he's got the 4 in his hand, right? So, actually, I think he also draws an Exodia's head at that point. So basically, we have to take away two pieces. So, of the ones that he's got left, he's got 13 Exodia pieces. He's got 2 that he needs to aim for, and 13 Exodia pieces in his head. Now, if he had just the 13 pieces of Exodia left in his deck, he would have a 15.4% chance to draw it, rounding up to the nearest tenth of a percent hint, right? So that's pretty damn low. But let's actually look at how many cards he's used here. Okay, so he starts with 5. He draws 1. Then he activated Graceful Charity twice. Nice. And we of course start with 40 cards. So 40 cards minus 6 equals 34. Then we minus the 6 from the Graceful Charities. That leaves him with 28 cards left in his deck. Now, keep in mind that at this point, so 26. We're going to say 26 because of the 2 duplicates that he drew to reduce it down to that, right? Okay, so let's go 2 divided by 26 and find out what his percent chance of getting Exodia's right arm would be. 7.7% chance. I just did the math. He has a 7.7% chance of drawing one of the Exodia pieces with what's left in his deck. And actually, I think that's actually supposed to be higher because, no, I actually accounted for the 2 pieces he drew, so no, we're good with that. Actually, no, I do need to minus that by... I do need to minus that by 1, so it's actually 2 divided by 25. which is an 8% chance. 8. So his chance went up 0.3% because I factored in the other card he drew. You see my point? You see my problem with this? Like, like he's so sure that his victory's in the bag when he's got an 8% chance for it to come to fruition before it happens. And even if we want to say that Yugi did not win on like the next turn like he did, that only reduces us to the equation being 2 divided by 23, assuming he doesn't do so, which is an 8.7% chance. You see the problem? I mean, I know the automatic win happens at the end of the third turn, but come on. Again, simple math just kills you. It's like, come on. What the hell? Okay, that's all Merrick stuff, so I need to flip back over here. So then he's like, well, wait, what if, oh yeah, then the you triggered my trap thing happens, and it's like, oh, okay. So, alright, so then the Rare Hunter summons Exodia's head in defense mode. It's like, there, my life points are safe, we're good. Atem then pulls out the you couldn't trust your counterfeit deck thing that he pulls in the sub. I still hate that. That is such a dumb line. Fuck that line. But then Yugi is like, ha, you did exactly what I wanted you to do in the dub. And I love that dialogue better. You triggered my trap. Chain destruction. Yeah, I've made fun of the you triggered my trap before, so there you go. Chain destruction. It doesn't destroy the Exodia piece on the field, but it does destroy the ones in his hand and his deck. Oh, my Exodia heads are gone. And then Exodia attacks. So then Yugi uses Dust Tornado, which is an awesome trap card that gets rid of one spell and trap on the field. And then my headcanon takes over and makes this next part make more sense because we get the return of Season 1 shenanigans. My headcanon is that Alpha destroys Exodia's head, and then Chimera and Summon Skull destroy him. I mean, Electric Impact Dash just sounds better than in Magic Lightning Sword! To me, anyway. Now, I say this is the Swang Song for Season 1 shenanigans because this is the last time, from memory, that Season 1 shenanigans are going to have any impact, because Summon Skull's Lightning powers up Alpha by 200 points, which then allows them to have 4,100 points to finish the duel. I admit my mangas are all scattered over there behind me, so I can't really take a look, but yeah. Ugh. So then Merrick takes control of the ghoul and murders him by doing so. I mean, okay, they say trapped his mind in the Shadow Realm in the dub. That's basically just to cover the fact that he's murdered. So then the dub talks about the power of the Pharaoh, and that's what Merrick's after. And he's basically saying that he will destroy Yugi and take over his title. It'll in the frickin' here, because I didn't actually see any example of the whole Merrick's reasoning from later on in the series, which just kind of bugs me, if I'm honest. And I just it's all about the power of the god cards and yada yada yada. And it's like, okay, well, you're generic evil so far, Merrick. And then it's like, I will do battle with you. And Yugi's like, your Millennium Rod has called me into battle. This is also where we get the stupid memories control through memories thing, which is just, what the actual fuck? And it's dumb, and we're moving on. So then Joey and Jinochi both reject Red Eyes. And my dub note about this is Joey rejects Red Eyes. Fuck this plot point. I don't need my. Sorry. I'm knocking everything over today. I didn't actually mean to toss it like that, but whatever. Let's talk about this plot point. So the whole idea, as it was originally intended, is the idea of Joey wants to become a true duelist. I hate this plot point. I do. I have always hated this plot point. Even in the dub with the whole, Red Eyes will help you save the world, and therefore, by my extension, I will help you save the world. Admittedly, when I was young, my whole point of this scene pissing me off was was the whole idea that you'd have that sword would serve better in your hands than Yugi's, because Yugi's deck wouldn't be able to really take advantage of it, and your deck would then be built all around Red Eyes. Which is basically the way I would have if I ever do the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rewrite project, which at this point is still kind of up in the air. I mean, I've been talking about it being, may or may not be happening. It's like, yeah, no, I want to do it. I absolutely want to do it. And that is something that if I ever do the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rewrite project, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rewrite project ever gets it off the ground, that is absolutely a plot point I'm keeping. Fuck this whole true duelist nonsense. And let's actually fuck Joey getting his red eyes taken and all that shit. Let's just have Joey. Let's just have Joey frickin' fight alongside Red Eyes and frickin' win. Okay, you know. If I have to, I'll make Red Eyes a frickin' an anime chick dual spirit. Damn it. I'll do it. Don't think I won't. Nah, I probably won't do that. We'll see. Because, I mean, hey, a Blue Eyes White Dragon ended up being a waifu, so why couldn't Red Eyes, the ultimate rival? That'd be an interesting dichotomy, actually, now that I think about it. Because with the rewrite project, I could basically do whatever the hell I want, right? Right? So, that's an interesting idea. Regardless of any other semantics, though, that is basically all I have for this episode. Oh yeah, by the way, he also was like, "I'm covered. I've got Time Wizard, right?" I don't think Time Wizard's gonna show up again until season 3. Now that I'm thinking about it, which I could be wrong about. I don't know, but we'll see. How long have I been going? Oh wow, I've been going for 43 minutes. In fact, it's the timer's just about to hit the 43-minute mark. Now. It just hit the 43-minute mark now. Damn. I actually had more to talk about with this episode than I thought. I mean, granted, I had to talk a bit about Merrick and how he's generically evil still right now. I had to talk about the Exodia deck, and I also had to talk about the swan song of shenanigans. So, one click would have ended that. It would have ended that whole recording. Holy shit, that's bad. Anyways, my point in bringing this up is I don't like I don't like I did not like this episode in the sub. I'm sorry. These episodes in the sub were just boring and they felt like padding. They really did. And they led to one of my most hated plot points of all time, so that didn't actually help. The dub at least had the nostalgia factor, and in my opinion, and I know I'm going to get shot for this, but whatever, I don't give a fuck, it's my honest opinion, it had better dialogue. It had, honest to God, better dialogue. The dub had better dialogue than the sub. Wrap your head around that shit. And that's now obviously not with the opening scene with Yugi and attempt conversing, and not with the censorship of I've trapped his mind in the shadow realm thing, but at the same time, yeah, no, this is a this is a generic episode in the sub, and that makes the dub better in my opinion, because this is effectively the opening act, which is what this should have been. Never mind the fact that the counterfeit cards are a pointless plot point, which is just. I prefer the idea that of the whole rare hunters collect rare cards thing, right? They hunt rare cards. It's in the frickin' name. But no, we had to go with counterfeit in the sub for some reason. Whatever. I'm rambling at this point. That's usually my cue to cut off. So, I hope you have enjoyed my thoughts on this episode, and I hope you won't roast me alive too harsh in the comments. But yeah, no, I would. This is effectively on my skip list. This is effectively on my skip list in the sub because it's just no, I don't give a fuck about this episode. Next time, Joey faces the dub, and subsequently, I think the sub too. Get the ideas of psychic powers completely wrong as Joey faces Esperoba, the psychic duelist. Ugh. And a really dumb, and the whole thing happens with, and also, fuck the whole Joey doesn't know about tribute summoning shit thing that we will be dealing with in part 1. Also, as a quick aside right here at the end, and uh, yeah, we are basically, as I stated, I will double check to make sure I'm not talking out my ass here. 2, 3, yep. We are basically we are basically 4 videos away from me talking about 4Kids' biggest fuck up. So if you're sick, if you don't like the fact that I gave this two-parter gave the dub 2 points, oh, don't worry, there will be a three-parter that will give the sub 3 additional points, and that's in addition to the fact that the sub is still ahead by 2 points. So yeah, that's it for me. I will catch you guys next time for a duel that I'm not looking forward to talking about, or watching for that matter. We'll see how it fares, guys. Till next time, Blue Wolf Alex of the Lore Walkers signing out. Have a good one. Duel standby.